Good morning, students. Today I will deal with session 11, which is a revision of Feynman's letter to his wife, to his dead wife, 16 months after her death. So, we were earlier discussing Feynman as a human being and as a contributor to the science world. He was a very versatile person and who blended science and literature to popularize key concepts in science. Though he was a scientist by profession, he was a writer by passion. So, one of those rare human beings who could blend science and literature, combine these two effectively to bring to the masses, to the common people, uh, in very simple language and in an interesting way, the subject of science. So, this particular letter that he wrote uh, actually explores the dimensions to grief and the way and one way of handling it through writing. We discussed in the earlier sessions that they were soulmates, Arline and Richard, and the letter demonstrates how deep the commitment was to each other, and it was also very unconditional, their love for each other. And they complemented each other and completed each other, because that is how Richard communicates in the letter that all the other friends that he had had, girlfriends later after her death, they were ashes compared to Arline. So this is a very moving letter, and a moving letter and very touching letter, because finally he says, I can't post this to you. There's no address. I don't know where you are now. So, though written 16 months after her death, the love seems so fresh, and they seem so devoted to each other even after her death. Well, the background to the letter is interesting. I just wanted to introduce a small detail. Uh, this was discovered 42 years after it was written. Uh, while working at the public library, James Clark, the American biographer, discovered something which was very uh, moving and amazing, and that was this letter. The contents of the letter completely unsettled him and gave him a different understanding, uh, perspective of Feynman. As I have said in my previous sessions before, Feynman seemed very casual, very flamboyant, a woman's man, not very serious about his relationships and his dates. But this particular letter gives you a totally different personal side to Feynman. The deep unconditional love and attachment that he had to Arline. In fact, he says, my heart stopped. I have never had an experience like that as a biographer before or since. Neither before was he, touched so much by the contents of a letter, nor later has he been touched so moved by the letter in his lifetime, in his career as a biographer. So this work on Feynman, his work on Feynman, Blake's work on Feynman became popular, very popular. The title Genius, The Life and Science of Richard Feynman. There are many words in the letter to suggest the deep attachment to Arline. I adore you, sweetheart, darling wife, I will always love you. You are real. Remember, he says you are real, even though she is no more, meaning to say her presence is so comforting to him even after her death. So, one way of handling grief is to make grief a very constructive, living reality through memories and through writing. So, Uh, this is how one can handle grief in a positive way. Please do read Pablo Neruda's poem. It's a very interesting theme which is close to this letter. Thank you.